And welcome, good evening. This is Ask Profit only on NDTV Profit, and I'm your host Malika Mishra.
And I'm your host Himakshi Bahugna, and together we'll be taking up all your stock related queries. So don't forget to WhatsApp us or call us directly. The numbers are there flashing on your screens right now, viewers. And on the show we are joined by Avinash Gorakshakar on the fundamentals and Kunal Kamble on the technicals. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening. Now let's get straight to the first query on the show, which is written to us by Lucky from Ahmedabad. He holds 150 shares of BEL at 285 rupees. He's looking for a long-term view on the counter, and he's also asking whether he should partially book profit to hold or to hold as it is, because he's sitting on a profit of over 15,000. So coming to you, Avinash, on this, what do you have to say on BEL?
So I think the investor has purchased BEL at a very attractive price. And I think, if you look at the performance of almost all the defense companies, BEL is one of those stocks which has not outperformed very smartly as compared to the other players like HAL or Masgao Dock or Garden Reach. But nevertheless, the fundamentals appear to be good. And the investor is definitely making a decent gain. See, my sense is that if the investor requires some money urgently, then he can book out, say, 20-25%. But if he can hang on for the next 12 to 18 months, I think the growth potential is very strong. The company is sitting on an order book of almost 35 to 40,000 crores. It's a net cash positive company. And in aviation electronics, they are the number one. And obviously, export-oriented inquiries have also started coming in. So I think if we can hold on for the next, 12 to 18 months, we could even look at a price of around 450 plus. So I think depending on the time frame the investor has, I think my sense is he should take a long-term view and stay invested here.
Okay, so long-term view on Bharat Electronics and stay invested is the advice from Avinash to you. And now we're being joined by Sandeep from Bengaluru on the phone line. Hi, Sandeep. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Please
I have 1,000 shares of Envirro Infra at 257. In fact, I bought it this morning after seeing an incredible result. But strangely, the stock has gone down. I am perplexed. Should I book loss or should I hold on? Confused, actually.
Okay, understood. Avinash, for Envirro Infra, I'd come to you on this one. But before that, just revising Sandeep's query. Sandeep from Bengaluru currently holds 1,000 shares of Envirro Infra Engineer at 257 rupees a piece, and he has 1,000 quantity. He's asking for a short-term view. Now, as per his expectation, despite a good quarter, Envirro Infra shares have gone down. And what's your sense? Should investors continue holding this or not?
Is this question for me?
Yes, Avinash, it is for you.
So I think, the investor wants a short-term view. So typically, with my limited knowledge on technicals, I can only tell that in the short term, normally what happens is despite good numbers, you can see a sellout on the stock. So fundamentals continue to remain solid. I think the stock has been purchased by him today itself, which was the result day. So my sense is, you need to give in time of at least 6 to 12 months here, because it's sitting on a very healthy order book. It's into water purification, sewerage, and basically, EPC of infrastructure projects. So my sense is that if he can hold on slightly longer, say 6 to 12 months, because if he has a very short-term view, then maybe the markets will not reward him with an immediate upside. But structurally, I think the company's business is on a very solid wicket. They have a good order book. The management is competent. So I think keeping a 12-month view, I think he can hold on. I think he should definitely get a decent risk reward if he has a medium-term time frame.
Okay. And Kunal, also understanding, I know Envirro Infra, it's been a very short while since it listed on the exchanges, pardon my tongue. How does it structurally look to you, just the stock price and the momentum of it? Because we have a lot of queries that come in on Envirro Infra. I want to know if you're seeing any kind of technical strength here.
So looking at a daily time frame, it has given a double bottom breakout, and that was on 26 May. And the volume during the breakout was good. So this indicates there is a buying interest at current level as well. Anyhow, looking at the momentum from the RSI is into overbought zone. So this is the reason why you have seen some selling. So the selling might come towards 230 odd levels. So it can be there, or support can be taken at 230 levels. Overall, the stock is right now opened the door for an upward momentum towards 290 levels. So I suggest that a downward momentum will be there towards 230 levels, but the stock can be hold with a stop loss of 208 levels for an upward momentum towards 300.
Understood. Thanks for that. Now let's go across to a caller joining us from Hyderabad. Hi, Vishnu Priya.
Hi, madam.
Yes, please go ahead with your query.
I was holding Niva Bupa shares at 92.
Yeah.
1,000 shares I have bought a few days back with a short-term view. May I know the target of the stock?
Okay, are you, Vishnu Priya, are you a long-term investor or a short-term investor?
I'm a short-term investor. I hold few stocks for long-term, but particularly this stock I was holding for short-term.
Okay, and for how long are you planning to hold this?
3 months.
3 months, all right. So for the short term, Kunal, I'll directly come to you. So, in the last 1 month, I've seen that the stock is in its upward trend, and today also, it was up in trade today about 5%. So what do you have to say? What are the charts suggesting, and what should Vishnu Priya be doing with the counter, because she wants to invest in it for 3 months?
So overall, the stock has given a breakout of a rounding formation that was nearly around 7th of May. And now the momentum is there. The volumes are increasing. On 7th of May, there were a good volume. So overall, buyer interest is there. Till that time, the stock is holding above 84 levels. It is a good buy opportunity. Till the time, it might go up towards 110 levels. So stock can be bought at current level as well. There is a higher potential that the stock might go up towards 105 levels.
Okay, and I'd also like to take, although our caller is a short-term investor, but still I'd like to take a fundamental aspect on it. Avinash, what's your sense on Niva Bupa Health if somebody is invested in this counter?
No, I think clearly, it's a good play on the insurance sector, and the numbers have also been pretty good. But I think, in the short term, I wouldn't be surprised the stock may remain in a very close range. But if somebody has at least a couple of years kind of time frame, then I think the risk reward could be quite significant, because most of these insurance companies are not the companies which you can judge on a quarter to quarter basis. They are basically businesses which are reflected only over a 12-month kind of time frame. So I think numbers have been good for March 25, sorry. And I think the next year also appears to be pretty good. So unless and until the investor has a medium to long term view, a major risk reward is not possible.
All right, understood. And now we're being joined by Rahul on the phone line from Chandigarh. Hi Rahul, good evening.
Hi ma'am, good evening.
Good evening. Please go ahead. How can we help you?
Ma'am, I have a query regarding Hindalco.
Okay.
I have 10 shares at 655. I was planning to invest more, but please those stop rating.
Sure. Rahul?
So I wanted to...
Okay. I'm so sorry, there was a bad audio from your end, but I got a sense of what you were asking. So Rahul from Chandigarh currently holds 10 shares of Hindalco at 655 rupees a piece, and the stock is trading around those levels. It was in fact flat in trade today. And maybe he's asking for a long-term perspective on this one, if I'm not wrong. Therefore, Avinash, what's your sense on Hindalco? Because while the financial metrics are strong, investors don't seem to be bagging some heavy returns from this one. What is your sense, and how long do you think it will take for Hindalco to show some substantial amount of returns?
No, I think aluminum as a sector has started doing very well. If you see the numbers of Nalco, I think numbers were very solid, which is their comparable peer, because they also make aluminum and alumina. So my sense is, see, Hindalco is a much more value-added company. It has one of the lowest cost advantage, in terms of the cost of production per ton for them. So my guess is that, this is a stock where I think the next 6 to 12 months are going to be very strong in terms of numbers and margins. And hopefully, if the aluminum market continues to remain buoyant globally, that benefit will definitely be available to Hindalco. Plus, they are expanding capacity. So I think, not taking a short-term view, but I think if one were to take the next, say, 3 to 4 quarters, I think definitely one could expect at least a 15% plus upside, because these are large cap stocks. Even a 15% upside is definitely considered to be quite attractive. So would suggest him to hold on. I think April to June and June to September, July to September could be a lot better, and that could be a time where the stock could get gradually re-rated.
Right. Thanks for that view, Avinash. Now let's go across to a caller joining us from Guntur. Hi, Ramchandra. Good evening.
Good evening, madam.
Yes, please go ahead with your query.
Regarding Sgility India.
Yeah.
I hold a 700 shares at the rate of 44 rupees. Can I add more at this price?
Okay. Okay. And are you a long-term investor, Mr. Chandra?
1 year.
1 year. All right. All right. So, Avinash, yes, please go ahead.
And I am confident with Avinash, sir. Please guide, sir, please.
Are you looking for a 1 year outlook, right? On Sgility India?
1 year. 1 year.
Yeah.
About 2 years, I can hold.
Okay, okay. Understood, understood. So, Avinash, coming straight to you, Sgility India shares actually tanked and hit a lower circuit on May 27 itself, and there was an announcement of the promoter entity initiating a stake sale. So, after that, and following these news that do come in, how is the fundamental performance of the stock looking like for somebody who wants to invest in this counter for like a year or so?
See, I think you're right. The company made an open offer. I think they diluted their promoter stake, and that was one of the key reasons, the stock tanked and, came down. See, typically, whenever there's an OFS, we find empirical evidence that stock prices go down after the OFS is complete. But they got a decent response from the institutional investors, from the retail side. So I think, let the stock settle down. Numbers for FY25 have been quite solid, I think, in terms of top line, EBITDA, profitability, and, the kind of business Sgility India does in the US market. They are a large player which operates in the pharmaceutical market. My sense is that if the investor can, spend a little bit of more time, say 12 to 15 months, he has a 2-year time. So, and his cost price is about 44. The current price is 39. So I think over the next 2 years, we could easily see levels of 50 plus. So I think, this is definitely a slow, steady performer, but I think the business looks promising. So I would say just hold on. Don't get panicked by short-term price movements. The longer-term potential for the business is quite good.
And, with Avinash having a positive outlook on the counter, Kunal, this current dip that we are seeing in the counter, it's trading at 39 currently. So are these the correct levels to enter for a new investor who wants to invest in this?
Okay, the stock is trading near a strong support. So this is a level from where the stock move upward towards its 55 level. So again, a buying has been seen with a good volume. So I will suggest that the stock goes above 43, then it will be a good entry point, as all the major EMS are placed there. Above 43, some good buying sentimental can be seen, which can push the stock towards 49-50 levels.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that. And now we're being joined by another caller, Durgesh from Bengaluru. Hi, Durgesh. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Please go ahead with your question.
So my question is regarding Spandana Sphoorty Financial.
Okay.
So I have around 250 shares at 420 apiece.
Okay.
And currently it's going in loss. I can hold on it for a couple of more years, but is it good to hold off for now, buy more, or sell it off and invest somewhere else?
Okay, and since when have you, when did you buy your first share of Spandana Sphoorty, if I may know?
This was around, I think, 8 months ago, 8 or 9 months ago.
Okay, 8 or 9 months ago. Okay, got it. Avinash, I'll take this question to you. Durgesh from Bengaluru currently holds 250 shares of Spandana Sphoorty at 420 rupees a piece. And in just the last 1 year, the stock price has plummeted from about 193 odd levels, 820 odd levels to 193, and it is now trading somewhere in between that zone, at 288, 289, and it was down about 2% in trade today as well. So a lot of cuts that the stock has gone through in the past 1 year itself, and with a substantial amount of exposure to unsecured lending, what do you think is lagging or pressuring Spandana Sphoorty fundamentally? And for investors who are currently invested in hold shares of this company, do you think they should continue holding their shares?
No, I think first of all, I think Spandana Sphoorty is a large player in the microfinance market, and all of us are aware that the microfinance market last year went through a very bad cycle. So not only Spandana Sphoorty, but a lot of other microfinance companies have recorded losses. But I think fortunately now the cycle seems to be turning. I think maybe you could see some improvement, post the September quarter, because a lot of pain in the system has already been taken out. And I think now most of the stocks, including Spandana, are at the bottom end of the cycle. So my guess is that, rather than booking a capital loss, if the investor can hold on for the next, say, 8 to 12 months, post the September numbers, which we are hopeful that, most of the microfinance players will bounce back. I think this is not a business which is going to disappear. This is a growing business, but somehow the cycle was, a little bad, and that incurred a lot of losses for these companies. So I think keep a time frame of at least 12 to 15 months. And if possible, you could average some of your stocks if you do have the capital at your disposal, because, from 420, the investor is now seeing a price of around 280, 285. So averaging would definitely help him, but keep a time frame of at least 12 to 15 months. And hopefully, I think he should be able to get his cost price plus make a reasonable return.
All right, so keep a time frame of 12 to 15 months with Spandana Sphoorty if you're invested in this counter. With that, we have a caller joining us from Chennai. Hi, Ram. Good evening.
Yeah, hi.
Yes, please go ahead with your query.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for the entire team for your dedicated efforts in addressing retail investors.
It's our pleasure, Ram.
Commitment and care.
Thank you so much. Please go ahead.
Yeah, my query is regarding, I am holding 1,000 shares of IDFC First Bank.
Okay.
So I am okay to add another 50,000.
Okay.
So what is that stop loss or target? Should I more invest in the same bank or any other recommendation at the same price level? So what will be the recommendation? I want to know. I'm looking for long-term horizon.
All right. And when did you purchase these shares?
So I purchased 3-4 months back.
Okay. So you purchased at 65 rupees and currently trading at 67.9. So yes, Avinash, talking about IDFC First Bank, so currently the CASA ratio is close to 50%. And so how sustainable is this, and what does it signal about the bank's liability franchise, if I have to say, and in the banking space also in particular? Apart from IDFC First Bank, what are your top picks there?
No, I think first of all, talking about IDFC First, I think the bank has a very attractive CASA ratio, as you rightly pointed out. And their main focus is basically the MSME and the microfinance sector. In fact, they have also been hit partially because of the microfinance kind of slowdown in the markets. And that is the reason, numbers for March quarter were quite disappointing. And I think the company is now planning to raise another 1,000 crores as capital. So in the short term, the stock may see a little bit of pressure, but the stock is holding on pretty well. My sense is, if the investor wants to take a longer term call, I think he should wait for this capital offer to get complete, which should be over in the next 1 or 2 months. Because at least in the very near term, the April to June quarter and the July to September quarter are also going to be challenging. So I think it's a great business with Mr. Vaidyanathan, who's ex-ICICI Bank, who's heading it. And the bank has already said that, they would be coming back strongly out of this crisis. So I think keeping a 2-year view, I think around 55 or 60, if the investor can, chip in, then he can start an SIP here and gradually invest in the stock.
Okay. And Kunal, Avinash has rightly pointed it out. But, like he said that he wants to invest. In fact, he wants to buy 50,000 shares. What did he say, Malika? 5,000 shares, did he say? Or 50,000 corpus that he was having, right?
Yeah, something like
so
that.
On those lines. So, so what are the levels that you see that for him to actually invest in this counter?
So on a monthly time frame, IDFC Bank has actually given a good breakout of actually about 5 months trading. So after a 5-month lower band, the stock has given a breakout and it is sustaining at a good levels. Again, above 61 level, it is really a good buy. Now the stop loss will be around 50-51 level from where the support has been seen. Previously, the same was seen in 2023 from where the stock bounced towards 100 levels. So again, a bounce back is seen. Above 70, you will see a good buying momentum coming, which can lead to a momentum towards 90 levels. Overall, the trend is positive. We might expect some more buying coming above 70 levels.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And now we are being joined by Shiv Teja from Bengaluru. Hi, Shiv Teja. Good evening.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening.
Please go ahead with your question.
So, yes, my query is about Jindal Saw. I'm holding 100 shares of it at 247 rupees.
Okay.
So it's been almost 8 months. I'm averaging it slowly, but then right now, from the previous quarter results, it's been drastically down now. I want to know for one more, long-term perspective, how is the fundamentals for this company?
Okay. I got you, Shiv Teja. Avinash, Shiv Teja from Bengaluru currently holds 100 shares of Jindal Saw at 247 rupees a piece. The stock has dipped down to 214 odd levels from the level at which Shiv Teja bought them. Speaking of Jindal Saw, it hails on the pipe and fitting space, and it's a very competitive space to say from that perspective. What is your sense on Jindal Saw, and when do you see that recovery happen for Shiv Teja?
No, I think Jindal Saw operates in the steel pipe sector, largely catering to the oil and gas sector, and I think here credentials are very important. Already, Jindal Saw is sitting on a reasonably good order book. But as you rightly mentioned, the space is very competitive. The main customers include private sector oil companies and companies like ONGC. And there's a lot of undercutting when these tenders are announced. So probably, I think, if somebody were to look at investing in this company, one needs to take a slightly longer term call, because most of these price increases are awarded after a year, after the new tenders are opened. So currently, ONGC has not opened new tenders. But whatever business they have, I think clearly in the coming year, it would be better than compared to FY25. And I think the business is going to be very competitive, because there are many players, including Jindal Drilling or Maharashtra Seamless. So clearly, I think size and volume is very important, and plus the pricing. So keep a time frame of at least 12-15 months. I think it's a good business, but I think you'll have to wait for the numbers to come out. Possibly post-September numbers should be much better, and that could possibly trigger a good upside here.
Okay, understood. Now, while Avinash is suspecting a good trigger for an upside quite soon, Kunal, my question to you is just looking at the way the chart is currently poised, right? Since the time of October 2024, it has seen a step downside, right? And it has seen a swing in that way. Just technically speaking, even if it had to recover and go back to its October levels, my question to you is that when do you see that upside exceeding those October 24 levels for Jindal Saw?
So overall, the trend is negative. We might see the stock coming towards 190 odd levels. And if it breaks below 190 odd level, 152 will be the level from where we might see some accumulation coming. So 190, if it sustains at 190, we might see again buying coming. But the exact level from where we might see some good buying will be 150 levels. So overall, the trend is negative. Wait for the stock to correct. From past 2 to 3 days, it is seen to trade in a range. So there is no volume there. So the interest is comparatively less compared to its previous momentum of sell side as well. So we might see the sell side might getting dry up eventually in coming days.
Right. Thanks for that. Now quickly let's go across to a caller joining us from Kurdul. Hi Mansingh. Good evening. Mansingh, if I would request you to just turn down the volume of your television screen. Am I audible to you, Mansingh? Okay, I think we've lost the line there, but we have Mansingh's query with us. So he holds 120 share of Inox India at 1240 a piece. He's looking for a long-term view on the counter. So directly coming to you, Avinash, on this one. So, Inox India posted its results and they were pretty good. So considering these numbers also in mind, how are the fundamentals of the company looking like? Are they promising?
No, I think Inox is definitely a very key player in the industrial gases segment, and they have a fully integrated, evaluated model which they offer to their customers. So I think, as I told earlier, most of the companies post the results have seen a bout of selling, which doesn't mean that the company is fundamentally weak. I think stock will stabilize, and you will definitely make a decent amount of money, provided the investor now wants to wait for the next at least a couple of years. This is a great business, but I think the kind of valuations the investor has recently purchased, it's slightly on the higher side. So I think you'll have to wait for at least a couple of quarters before you see some upward trend starting. But yes, from a investment point of view, you can stay invested for the next 12 to 18 months.
Okay. Thank you so much. And viewers, Avinash Kurakshikar will be saying a bye-bye to us right now. But I'll see you again, Avinash Kurakshikar. Thank you so much for giving us your time. We really appreciate it. And moving on with a lot more queries, Suresh is joining us on the phone line from Hyderabad. Hi, Suresh. Good evening.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening. Thanks for taking my query.
Yes.
So, I'm holding today only. I took entry in Hindustan Copper. I took around 150 shares at 256 rupees, and it was negative around 1.8% today. But as I'm seeing the technicals, like I'm seeing that it is above the tall moving average, 220 and 50-day moving average. But from yesterday and today, it was a bit down. But may I know the short-term and long-term view on this Hindustan Copper?
Sure. Kunal, let's answer our viewers' query. Hindustan Copper, 156 shares at 256 rupees a piece. The stock is trading around 251. Was up in trade today above 1%. Now, Hindustan Copper has been seeing a positive reaction to its quarterly results. It posted a 50% jump in its net profit alone. But speaking of how the stock has been trading from a larger picture, that has been pretty volatile and flat. What is your sense, and when do you see a evident pickup in the stock price?
So the stock has given a good breakout recently. That was on 23rd May. A falling trendline breakout was seen. So currently the stock is trading at its resistance level. So the stock might correct towards 230 levels, odd levels, but there is a good support, a good formation at 220 levels. So till that time the stock is holding about 220 levels, the stock might go up towards 290 levels, odd levels. So there is a good upward momentum coming in copper. The stock can be held for over a period for 2 to 3 months, where we can see the stock moving upward towards 300 levels.
Right. With that, let's go across to a caller joining us from Srinagar. Hi, Jagdeep. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, please go ahead with your query, Jagdeep.
Ma'am, I want to invest some money in Unimech Aerospace, defense sector.
Okay.
So can you suggest me it is the right time to invest in this stock, or I think I have to wait for some time?
All right. And just I'm just curious to know, you're calling us from Jammu and Kashmir, Srinagar, or
yes,
Uttarakhand, Srinagar?
No, ma'am.
JNK. All right. Okay. So, I'll get your query answered. Kunal, coming to you directly on this one. Currently, it's trading at 1297 and was also up in trade today. Almost 10%. So, the stock has been buzzing. So, what do you have to say on the counter? And is this the correct level to enter if somebody wants to invest in this counter?
Okay, so the stock has given a breakout of triple bottom formation. That was on 29th, I think so on 28th of May. So that was a breakaway gap. That is a very good sign. Secondly, the second day, we have seen a momentum, a gap up momentum, which is said as runaway gap. So overall, it suggests that is a good bullish sign in the stock till the time it is holding above 1063. I will suggest for a dip towards 1210 level will be a good buying opportunity, because the stock has opened door towards a momentum of 1400 levels and 1600 levels. So it is a good buying opportunity on dip. The stock is looking great on chart.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Kunal. And viewers, we will be slipping into a short break, but keep sending in your queries on WhatsApp as well as call in. We will be right back for Ask Profit only on NDTV Profit.
Markets move fast,
and so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold CDSL for the long term? Buy, sell or hold?
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What is the real picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims? Know Your Company, powered by NDTV Profit Research, shines a light on the biggest stock market movers.
Welcome back to Ask Profit, only on NDTV Profit, a show that answers all your stock related queries. So do not forget to call us on the numbers available to you. You can also write to us on WhatsApp, but we do urge you to pick up your phones and dial us on the numbers so that we can give you the best investment advice. We are now being joined by Anand on the phone line from Bengaluru. Hi Anand, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, I am holding Suzlon around 12,000 shares at rupees 6.
Okay.
Okay, and can I keep it holding or shall I sell and come out from this?
Okay. Firstly, let me digest the profit that you're sitting on, Anand. You have made a profit of over 6 times. Over 10 times on your buying price. So congratulations. When did you purchase these shares?
Yeah, it's in COVID time.
Oh, very interesting. So now, do you want to book your profits? Anand, do you want to book your profits? Is that the question?
Yeah. Shall I? Because it's moved to 85 and again come back to 48. So
right.
Lot of volatility.
Correct.
So what should I do?
Okay, got it. Kunal, Anand from Bengaluru seems to be in a fix because he currently holds 12,000 shares of Suzlon at 6 rupees a piece. The stock is now trading around 65 and he's made a massive profit for himself, sitting on a handsome 7.13 lakh. Now, please tell me you're going to suggest him to book his profits, or you're going to tell him or give him an advice that's going to double this.
So I will suggest to hold a stock. There is a good formation at 60 odd level. There is a higher high, higher low formation, and the stock still has a potential to move upward towards 80 level. From years, nearly 20% upside is still pending in the stock. Till the time it is holding above 60 level, I will suggest to hold a stock because there is a good potential more upside towards 80 odd levels.
Okay, so Kunal, my follow-up is that Suzlon just recently, and in fact a few hours ago, came out with its result and posted a 365% jump in its profit. But for investors like Anand, who have seen such volatility, right, from 80 to 40 odd levels, if you're suggesting to hold on to these shares, do you see the fact that the chances of the share price going beyond 80 and then sustaining over those levels or not?
Okay, above 80 currently, I won't see a good buying coming because these are the odd level from where selling has been aggressive. So on a monthly time frame as well, 80 looks a very strong resistance. So I will suggest towards the momentum towards 80. Beyond that, if there is some good formation, then we can see an upward momentum. But till now, I can only suggest the stock will go towards 80 odd levels. 80 to 90 odd.
Right. So we can't get more greedy than that. I think we'll stick to 80 and 90 for now. And with that, let's go across to a caller joining us from Chennai. Hi, Lakshmi. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yes, please go ahead with your query.
I had 100 shares of Neogen Chemicals at 1850.
Okay.
Should I average it now or should I hold it?
Okay, and when did you buy these shares, Lakshmi?
Like few months back, I had bought at 2,000 rupees and I had averaged it down to 1,800.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can see that you are sitting on a loss of 19,000 also.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. So I'll get your query answered. Kunal, coming straight to you, she bought it at 1850 and currently it's trading at 1654 with a loss also of 19,000. So are you seeing any sort of uptick, in the coming months so that, she can actually narrow down her losses there?
Looking at a monthly chart itself, the trend is negative. Overall, we will see for continuous 4 months selling has been there. Now, this is the only month where some buying has been seen, but a sustainable move above 1780, it will be a good opportunity again for an buy new stock at that level. But at current level, I won't suggest any buying. I will suggest that wait for the stock with a stop loss of 1570. But if it breaks below 1570, the stock might slip to 1400 and might again slip towards 1200. So technicals currently are not looking that strong. I won't suggest new entry till the time stock doesn't break above 1750 or levels.
Okay, noted. Thank you so much for that advice. And viewers, we're being joined by G. Chokalingam, founder and MD of Economics Research, to answer all your fundamental queries. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you so much for giving us your time. Let's talk to our first caller after you've joined the show. Ashok is calling us from Hyderabad. Hi, Ashok. Good evening.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening.
Please go ahead with your question.
I'm holding Anoop Engineering.
Okay.
18 shares. Is rate 3,150.
Okay.
So, what could be the short-term and long-term view on this one? I'm in loss of around 13.5%.
Yes.
But from the day of the result, it has been corrected like anything. So, just I wanted to know what could be the long-term target for this, and can I exit at my price, or can I get my price in next 1 year?
Okay. And Ashok, when did you purchase these 18 shares of Anoop Engineering?
Just before the result day.
And when was that, if you could please help me?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Yeah, sure.
Engineering is on 12th May.
12th May, okay. So, just a very recent purchase. Mr. Chokalingam, directing this question to you, Ashok from Hyderabad currently holds 18 shares of Anoop Engineering at 3,150 rupees a piece. And he's saying that he bought them at the 12th of May. Now, in this very short time itself, the stock price has plummeted to 2,790 odd levels. Number one, do you think it is a right time to exit the counter just because of the drop that it has seen? And what's the story behind the drop, if you could analyze it for us?
No, basically, the stock is good and coming from excellent management, which has created a lot of wealth through other business entity. There is no doubt about the quality of the company or the quality of the business model. The only concern was that, even after this latest correction, it is still trading at around 53 PE. So for an engineering company, for the kind of growth it is maintaining now, I think this 53 PE is very stretched. That was the reason for the correction. Yes, one can hold it because it's still a good growth stock. So, but very difficult to expect any significant return in 6 months to 12 months. But certainly, if somebody is willing to hold for 2 to 3 years, it can, create a decent return.
Right. Thanks for that view, Mr. Chokalingam. Now we are joined by a caller from Bengaluru. Hi, Zach. Good evening.
Oh, hi there.
Yes, please go ahead with your query. Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. I wanted to know whether this is the right time to enter into BSE.
Okay.
Because it's finished its bonus and all that, and it's looking fresh and nice. So whether I can ride on it to make some profit.
Yeah. And Zach, are you a long-term investor or a short-term investor?
Yeah, I can hold it up for about a year, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So 1 year outlook on BSE. Mr. Chokalingam, coming directly to you on this one. Currently it's trading at its near 1 year highs. And if I talk about the valuation, so it's, the PE ratio is pretty high. But still, what do you have to say on the counter? Because, it's been performing really well also. So what's your sense on the counter?
Yeah, you are absolutely right. The valuation is extremely, stretched. And personally, it is very difficult for me to give buy call because I had initiated this stock 1/20th of the current market cap. So the stock has gone up more than 20 folds in the matter of last 2-3 years only. So I would suggest that retail investors should not take an enormous risk of chasing after a stock, runs up around 15-20 times in a medium term. It would be better to, look for opportunities elsewhere. If still somebody insists, then at least wait for some meaningful correction before you enter. Yes, long term is good, but in the short to medium term, it is extremely overvalued. NSE stock, once it is listed, that could be better option because going by the rate quoted in the market, NSE looks extraordinarily cheaper than BSE, and NSE also is a market leader.
Okay, but Mr. Chokalingam, I can't help but ask, don't you think that when we already have BSE as such a tight, fortified competitor, as soon as NSE lists, aren't there chances of NSE also catching up to that kind of price band? Or do you think NSE will take time?
No, it is very surprising that NSE, valuation at a steep discount to BSE because it still has a substantial market share in the cash segment, even in F&O. Definitely, NSE should improve valuation. But the upgrade in the valuation multiple in NSE, in my view, is far better than BSE from this level, improving valuation or improving further the growth rate and rewarding the investor in the short to medium term, that is 12 months to 18 months. I find it very difficult for BSE, to outperform NSE. But certainly you are right. NSE once gets listed, its valuation multiple should certainly improve because of its dominant position and excellent track record in the last 30 years.
Right, right. Thank you so much for clarifying that. And now we're being joined by Raju from Andhra Pradesh. Hi, Raju. Good evening.
Yeah, hi. Good evening.
Hi. Please go ahead with your question.
My query is regarding Piccadily Agro Limited.
Okay.
I want to take a fresh position in this for a long-term holding.
Okay.
I want to know the fundamentals, why the stock fell this much in last year. And I'm seeing the margins are improving quarter by quarter, but not sure why the stock is falling. So I want to know it from Chokalingam sir whether the fundamentals of this company is good to hold it for a long term.
Sure, sure. I have the same doubt, Raju. Let's get it clarified by Mr. Chokalingam. Mr. Chokalingam, Raju from Andhra Pradesh currently wants to know whether he can enter Piccadily Agro Industries PALE at this current juncture. And as he rightly mentioned that although the financial metrics of this company seems to be improving quarter by quarter, but the price is not reflecting that growth. What is your sense, and do you think these are these levels are attractive for one to enter?
Yeah. So I'm looking at the fundamental. The problem is that, if you see the full year, it has posted about 10 rupee EPS, around 10.85, and the stock is trading at around 575. It's almost 55 PE. The problem is that it was already overvalued extremely. So I doubt whether from current level, it can give any meaningful return to the investors.
Okay. And Kunal, speaking of how the charts of PALE has been, moving, I have noticed that after February of 2025, the stock price fell from about 800 odd levels to 500 odd levels. And since then, it has been trading in a range-bound manner. My simple question to you is that when do you see the stock price climb to about over 300 odd points to reach that 800 level back?
Okay, so first of all, the trend is actually negative. We are seeing a lower low and lower high formation. Again, talking on the daily time frame, it is in a range bound momentum. For an upward momentum, it need to cross above 700 odd levels. Then only we can see an upward momentum towards 880 levels. Now, if we shift to weekly time frame, so the volume on the selling side is higher comparatively to the volume of buyer side. So this indicates that the sellers are more aggressive in the market compared to the buyers. So I won't suggest entering at current level or at a higher level. I will suggest if the stock comes below near 400 level or 350 levels, it will be a good opportunity to buy. But at current level or above 800, I won't suggest any buying entry.
Okay, thanks for that view, Kunal. Now we are joined by a caller from Chandigarh. Hi, Vishal. Good evening.
Ma'am, I hold 1900 shares of Mamata Machinery at the price of 372.
Right.
Okay, and it was 11% up today, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, on account of good results, I mean, the quarterly EPS was also quite great, ma'am. The PEG ratio is 0.25, the P is 27.6 with a good ROE and ROC. I just wanted to know whether it's a good pick for about 3 years, ma'am.
Okay, firstly, I'd like to congratulate you on the profits that you're sitting at, and secondly that you are so well read, and you have done your homework on the stock that you've invested in. So congratulations to you, Vishal. We need more such informed investors there. And talking about the fundamental outlook on the counter, Mr. Chokalingam, Mamata Machinery, are you positive on the counter, and what should Vishal be doing with it because he wants to stay invested in this for long term?
Yeah, I have little understanding of the business model, but if you purely go by its earning and all, I think 25-26 P is reasonably fairly valued. So maybe in the long term it can give, but I think in the short to medium term, that is 6 months to 1 year time frame, I think it is fairly valued at current price.
And Kunal, also, it was up in trade today over 10%. So do you see this kind of momentum being, for how long it's going to be there, or are you anticipating any sort of dip also in the future?
So on 28th of May, a breakaway gap was seen, and this was followed back today as well. So overall, this indicates that the bulls are in total control, and we might see the stock moving upward towards 545 levels. A hurdle near 474 to 480 level would be there. So consolidation for 2 to 3 days we might be seeing in this stock, but the stock is well prepared to move towards 545 levels. Talking about the momentum is there. RSI is moving in the northern direction, supporting the whole price action. And if we talk about DI, the directional indicator, the DI plus is trading above DI minus. That is again a good sign. And your ADX has just moved above DI minus, which indicate there is a good strength in the up move. So a stock can go upward toward 545 odd levels.
Okay, understood. And we have now Sheila on the phone line from Bengaluru. Hi Sheila, good evening.
Good evening. This is Sheila from Bengaluru, and I have recently purchased 200 shares of SBI at around 830. So I just want to know what is the short-term target, what are the chances for it to cross 1,000 rupees?
Okay.
And I have a short-term target for 3 to 6 months.
Understood. Kunal, I'll take this question to you. Sheila from Bengaluru currently holds 200 shares of State Bank of India at 830 rupees a piece, and she wants to remain invested for a rather short period of time, for say 3 to 6 months. And from that perspective, do you see the chances of the stock price of SBI moving from 798, the level at which it is currently trading, to 1,000 rupees per se?
Okay, so overall, the whole PSU sector has been showing some interest. So there are some buying going into the PSU sector, but SBI is the one which has been seen moving into a flat direction. So overall, the interest has been shifting towards the Bank of Canara Bank, then PNB. So momentum has been shifting from bigger bank to a smaller bank in PSUs. But talking about SBI still has potential above 815 level. If it break above 815 level, it will go up towards 850 levels, and then it can move to 870 levels. Talking about 3 to 4 months, I don't find stock going towards 1,000 level in 3 to 4 months, but there is higher chances the stock might go up to 860 odd levels.
Okay, thanks for that. With that, we are joined by a caller from Chennai. Hi, Narendran. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I hold 3,000 shares of NBCC.
Okay.
At average price of 115.
Yeah.
So I would like to know the forecast for this share for another 1 year.
Okay.
So this question is to Mr. Chokkalingam sir. Should I hold it for another year? Also today they posted the quarterly result, which was very much decent.
Yeah.
So I just like to know, get a view on this share.
Yes, I'm happy that you're very much informed about the counter, and Mr. Chokkalingam rightly said that NBCC has come out with its Q4 results, and which are decent numbers. Their net profit is up 29%, revenue is also up 16%. So overall healthy numbers, but for a long term, from a long term perspective, for somebody who has invested in this counter, what suggestion do you have for them?
Yeah, one can hold it for long term because it has a lot of potential to expand its real estate business. Certainly, in a matter of around 2 years, the stock can cross around 150 also, as per my analysis. So one can hold it for long term.
Okay, and quickly, Kunal, for somebody who's a new investor who wants to invest in this counter, so are these the correct levels, or do you think that these levels are elevated?
Okay, so the stock has given a breakout of inverse head and shoulder pattern that was on 14th of May with a good volume participation. Again, the momentum is there. A buying opportunity will be there near 110 levels. So 110 will be a good buying opportunity. The stock is ready to move towards its all-time high, and it might surpass 150 odd levels as well.
Okay, understood. And now we have Krishna joining us on the phone line from Bengaluru. Hi, Krishna. Good evening. Krishna. Okay, no issues. Krishna, we've lost Krishna, but we have his query. Krishna from Bengaluru wanted to know whether he can enter and buy shares of Canara Bank. Mr. Chokkalingam, I'll take this question to you. Canara Bank is currently trading around 111 rupees per share price, and its lowest in 1 year had been 78.6. So already somewhere or the other in the higher range per se. Also, our technical expert was just mentioning how the momentum has been shifting from public sector banks to the private players. What's your sense, and do you think it's the right time to enter Canara Bank?
Certainly, yes. I believe that it is one of the most attractive stocks to buy at the current level for a few reasons. Personally, I do not own the stock, but I am extremely optimistic on the counter on a fundamental basis. At current price on FY25 adjusted book value, it is trading at around close to 1.1 time. And if you superimpose the profit growth expected for FY26 and apply even 1 time multiple on price to adjusted book value, the stock deserves at least around 122 within a year's time. If somebody is willing to hold for 1-2 years, I think the stock can give even 40-50% return. Because in 2 years' time, the book value itself can go close to 145-150 rupees. So if you superimpose 1.1 time valuation multiple, even 140-150 level is possible in 1 to 2 years. The immediate triggers are that it is likely to list its mutual fund as well as insurance subsidiaries, and they should unlock some money for this. And secondly, in gold loan, it has got the largest book, which is very surprising. Despite being a public sector bank, it has been very successful in building a gold loan business. And net NPA also has come down a lot in the last 2 to 3 years. So considering all that, I believe that this is one of the very impressive stocks to buy at current level.
Okay, thank you for that view, Mr. Chokkalingam. With that, we are joined by a caller from Bengaluru. Hi, Sethu. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, madam.
Yes,
thanks for taking up my call.
It's a pleasure. Please go ahead.
My inquiry is on BDL, this Bharat Dynamics. I bought 30 shares at the rate of 1295 on the 21st of March this year.
Okay.
And it's about, I think, little bit over 50% profit.
Yeah.
So should I book the profit and come out and then enter at a lower rate, or is it better to hold for a longer time?
Okay.
Both are fine. I can also hold for a shorter term or a longer term. Yeah.
Okay, understood. So, Mr. Chokalingam, I'll directly come to you on this one. Currently, rightly said, it's trading at 1974. But if I look at the valuations, it's pretty highly valued. And when I look at its peers, for instance, Hindustan Aeronautics or a BEML or a Paris Defense for that matter as well, the Bharat Dynamics PE ratio is pretty high. It's highly valuated. So, what's your sense on that? And is it an attractive bet according to you?
No, certainly not. I mean, it's very scary. If you look at the valuation multiple based on FY25, it has posted about 15 rupee EPS and stock trading at 1,973. So the P ratio is in triple digit. And if you look at the company's performance, yes, it's a growth stock, but the PBT before exceptional for annual basis, in fact, it has dipped quite significantly. So with this kind of bottom line performance, giving 3-digit PE is very difficult for me to justify. So my research view is a good sell on Bharat Dynamics.
Okay. And on that note, both of you, Mr. Chokalingam and Mr. Kamble, thank you so much for joining us. We're out of time, but again, big thanks for answering all the questions of our viewers with such patience. And viewers, you stay tuned to NDTV Profit and also continue to send in your queries on WhatsApp. We are both live in the morning as well as in the evening, and call us on the numbers available to you as we can give you the best investment advice only on NDTV Profit. But stay tuned, there's a lot more lined up for you right on the other side.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold CDSL for the long term? Buy, sell or hold?
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What is the real picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims? Know Your Company, powered by NDTV Profit Research, shines a light on the biggest stock market movers.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit. The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold CDSL for the long term? Buy, sell or hold?
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What is the real picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims? Know Your Company, powered by NDTV Profit Research, shines a light on the biggest stock market movers.
We're approaching India-US bilateral trade agreement with a perspective that both the countries are complementary economies, says Special Secretary to the Commerce Ministry Rajesh Agrawal. Adds that the talks are progressing well and he soon expects good outcomes. Benchmarks end higher after a volatile session led by realty and metal stocks. Mid and small cap indices also close in the green. Ola Electric's earnings disappoint in Q4 as losses both on an absolute as well as operational basis double. Revenue falls 60%. Lokpal comes down heavily on the complainants in the case against Madhabi Puri Butch, criticizes Mahua Motra, Prashant Bhushan and Amitabh Thakur for their intent to sensationalize and politicize the matter. IndusInd Bank's board advised to file a police complaint against former CEO Sumant Katpalia and others. Sources say SEBI findings could lead to criminal proceedings against the former bankers. As government identifies 13 dark patterns with the quick commerce platforms, we bring you a detailed report on what they are and how they work. US market opens higher as trade court blocked most of President Trump's reciprocal tariffs. Court says Trump overstepped his authority.